Everyone wants more money, but most of us weren't taught how to create an abundant life. That's where the Law of Attraction, Manifesting Success Stories show comes in. If you are ready to have more money, create more freedom, and experience more fun, turn the volume up. It's time to learn how to create the prosperity and life you have been dreaming of. Here's your host, Cassie Parks.
Hello and welcome to this interview. I am back with Kate from K8 for Wellness for interview number 12 in her Year of Growth series. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you, Cassie. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well. You said 12 and I can't believe it's been 12.
I know, right? It's amazing.
That is amazing.
Oh, I love it. So tell us how your future self has been showing up.
She has been showing up more so these past couple of days than ever. I think I've just been ignoring her a little bit. So she's definitely, she's kind of like smacking me in the face and saying, hey, I'm here.
Yes.
So she's just been showing up as, I want to say, honoring and trusting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Trusting more so than ever. Yeah.
I love that. More so than ever. Yeah. All right. I want to come back to that. So what else is awesome because of showing up, trusting and honoring?
Well, I have pretty much been moving into my house as my office space, which is what I wanted to do. So that is something that just came to fruition these past 2 days. So I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Yay. And so how does that help to tie into like more so than ever?
Because my future self loves to travel and she'll, go on adventures and she'll also go and speak at events and at like, I wouldn't say, I'm drawing a blank here. Conferences, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah. She travels and does a lot of that, and she can still support and serve her clients while she does that through, working on the go and going to adventures and still checking in with her clients that way. And this is moving me towards that because now I don't have to see these people in person. I'm seeing them through the internet, and through Zoom is what I use right now as a platform. So it was funny that I started doing that and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is definitely my future self. This is what she would be doing, working from home. And it's something I've been talking about for quite some time now.
Yes.
Yeah. And it didn't feel good in the process. So I wasn't able to see it until I snapped out of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So, at the time we're doing this interview, well, actually, let's do your new total first. And
okay.
We'll talk about that.
Okay. Awesome. So my new total is, you still need to get a drum roll. I'm gonna bug you until you get one.
Do. Because yes.
It is $148,747.02.
Woohoo! That's amazing.
It is amazing.
That's so good.
What's so amazing about that? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
You tell me.
Is 918 of that came through after I wrote a letter saying that I wasn't going to be in my office anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah. Mm-hmm. Literally came into your life after you ended that part, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's been pretty stagnant, right? So it lets me know that I needed to free up some energy. And when I did, look what happened.
Yeah. $918. Boom.
Yep.
It's so good. Well, let's talk about why you needed to free up that energy. So at the time of this, we're planning on titling this episode, Jean Jackets Don't Lie.
Yes.
I'm sure that will stand. I always want to give that caveat.
I think it will.
I do too, because it's so true. So let's talk about the jean jacket, and then I want to come back to this stagnant and all of this.
Sure.
Place. Yeah.
Yeah. So this jean jacket, I absolutely love. I took it on my first 10K photo shoot with you.
It's in the pictures, right? Yeah.
It is in the pictures. As a matter of fact, if I turn this video off, it's the picture. I love this jean jacket. And so I would wear it all the time. I wore it to my first 10K photo shoot. And then I took it to my 100K photo shoot in Arizona. And when I did that, I ended up leaving it behind. Of all things, that's what I left behind. And you had told me, I can't remember how it actually totally played out, but I think I sent you a message saying, I think I left my jean jacket there. And it was weeks after. And you said, oh, I forgot to tell you. I have it. And I'll mail it to you. What's your mailing address? And I gave you my mailing address. And I think a month went by. I still didn't get the jean jacket. So I was like, or I asked you if you had sent it or something along those lines. And you're like, oh, no, I haven't yet. And then I realized you were coming to visit me anyway. And I think like 2 or 3 weeks from that time that we spoke. And I was like, oh, you know what? Never mind. Just keep it and bring it when you come instead of mailing it. And I think in the midst of all that, I think it was the second time we talked about it, I ended up going out and buying another jean jacket. And it was a dressier jean jacket, not one with holes in it and a half jacket. This one was a nice fitted, dark, didn't have holes. It didn't look faded and had just one button on the mid-waist, and it was really pretty. And I get a lot of compliments when I wear it. So it forced me to step into my future self and how she dresses.
Yes.
So it's just really funny. But you gave it back to me. And I think, like I said before we started recording, I think I've only worn it once since you gave it back to me, the old jean jacket.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of back up and, I don't know, do the coach behind the scenes of this, right? Yes. So you brought it to Arizona where we're stepping into our future self. That was a big, we've done an interview on it, but just to remind people, you manifested $55,000 on the way.
Yes.
Right? Which brought your total, I think that's what put your total over 100K. So you got to shoot that. You were stepping into that person, which was like $55,000. We were planning on doing like a $60,000 photo shoot, right?
Yes, we were.
$10,000 photo shoot.
That's right.
Yeah. And you spend those days stepping into your future self, cooking for us, sharing, just really being your future self, which is what we talk about, right? So I think it's zero accident that you left the jean jacket.
I agree.
Right? And so,
yes.
And I want to take this moment to point this out for listeners is so often, Marie Kondo is super popular and great because she's helping people free up space. And I always go back to your future self is more important than joy. Because if I asked you, it's just different, more important, not, but it depends on what you want out of life. Do you just want more joy? Or do you want to step into your future self, right? It's all about their attention. And so if I asked you, like, does that jean jacket bring you joy? The answer would be
yes.
Yes, right? And so you wouldn't get rid of it.
No.
Yeah. And yet when we look at it, it's not your future self. And it's not that it matters that it has a whole, it's like that ripped. It's not even that future self somehow means, I don't know, it's not better isn't the right term, but it's just different, right? And it was who you were, and it probably was an elevated version of you at one point, which is why you brought it to your 10K photo shoot, because at one point it was your future self. And so it's no accident that you left it after stepping into your future self, because it's not her.
Right.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. And so you had to go get this new jean jacket, which does represent your future self, right?
Yep.
Totally. Yeah. And what do you think it is about it that represents, like, why do you think that's her?
Because it's classy. I'm all about right now, in wearing what makes me, I have 3 feelings I want to feel when I wear clothing, and my future self feels confident, feels sexy, and she's classy. So if it fits all 3 of those, then that's what I wear, and that's how I want to feel. And that's what I've been focusing on a lot, is feeling that way.
Yeah.
And that jacket feels that way.
Yes.
It's classy, it is sexy, and it definitely gives me the confidence when I wear it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And so the reason, jean jackets don't lie, it's every day. So you didn't have this other one to even make a choice, right? It wasn't like, oh, do I choose like, and you wouldn't consciously stand there and be like, do I choose this past version of myself, which was awesome, or do I choose this more future self version? But because there was no past option, you had to choose the future self. And you wear that jean jacket a lot, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It used to be the other one. I used to wear that one all the time. And now I don't.
Yeah. I know you wear this one. And so every time you put that on, you're activating your future self. You're activating that confident, sexy, classy vibe and your future self. And so you can't help but have to be her.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And she's been wanting to come out for some time.
Yeah. She's been wanting to come out from a lot of time ever since she had you leave that jacket in Arizona.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I just keep stuffing it.
Yes.
Stuffing
Yes.
the jacket. That's what I'll say. I'm just stuffing the jacket.
Stuffing the jacket. Like, no, right?
Right.
Yeah. So tell me, what does it mean when you say I'm stuffing her?
Yeah, I guess that's probably, that just gives a good visual, I think.
Oh yeah, I totally get what it is.
She's talking and yelling and screaming, and I am basically silencing her, telling her no, I guess is the best way to say that. I'm just saying no. And yeah.
And
it's
so
uncomfortable.
Right? It's uncomfortable to step into that new version. Well, let's talk about that first. Like, why? I mean, first and foremost, we can talk about leaving the wellness center, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not comfortable.
No, that's where, this journey all started to really blossom was there. And, and so I thought, well, if I leave these guys, I'm not never, but I'm not going to flourish as much, and I'm not going to grow as much if I leave these women, because I adore them too. I mean, that's what makes it hard as well. We build these great relationships, and we're all in it to make people healthy and get better. So, you build these good bonds with people. And so I just thought, well, if I don't stay here, what's going to happen? No one's going to want to come see me because I'm not in a wellness center, kind of thing. I know that was going through my mind. So that fear was there. That was a big one. And I think putting it on that was much easier than putting it on myself. If that makes sense.
But say more.
So I guess part of that is if I don't succeed, right, I have the wellness center to blame for, and versus if I'm out on my own, it's my own fault kind of thing.
Yeah. So it was easy to stay there because then it's like you could blame that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I would also, do you think it was hard to leave? Because I would put this in the category of outgrowing people. Not that there's anything wrong with anyone, but it's very, talk about that a little bit. I think I felt it a while ago, but I just didn't. I think I felt it in multiple circles that I was in. I felt it in my mastermind group. I felt it in this as well. And one of the things that I felt that I always did in the past was kind of just put up walls and just shut everybody out and isolate myself is what I felt that I did. And all the healing that I've done, and since we've been working together, I felt like I've gotten past that. And I think for me to do that, to pull away from the wellness center, almost kind of made me feel like I was doing that again, like shutting myself out. But it didn't feel that way. But I think it was just, it was just kept coming to the surface saying, oh, but you're shutting yourself out again. You're doing that again. You're alienating yourself, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And I think that was playing in that part too. And even though I didn't wholeheartedly believe that I was doing that, I think just because of past experiences, it just kept bringing that up. I don't know if that makes sense, if I'm verbalizing that right.
It makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
And I want to do like a little explanation just for our listeners. Like this happens so often. It's happened to me. It happens to other people in the Enchanted Circle where we learn to see like our behaviors and our patterns that weren't helpful. And it's so interesting because so often, and I would say maybe like 80% of the people, they return. Not return isn't even the right word, but something comes up that looks and feels similar. And we often go like, no, I can't do that because we've created a different version of ourselves. And it just takes a little while to see like, no, like leaving and stepping away because you've outgrown something is different than putting up a wall.
Yeah. And I think that was what I was having a hard time differentiating. Was that. And I don't even think I could even voice it until a couple of days ago when I kind of like snapped myself out of it and said, hey, this is enough. You got to start moving forward. You got to start, keep doing what you wanted to do. This is your passion, and I think at that point, that's when I started. It all took me being locked out of my house to figure that out.
Which is good because I think that's you couldn't go anywhere. You couldn't do anything. And I think even feeling had become an action.
Yes.
It had become a thing to do instead of just being in space and letting her voice, your future self voice, start to speak and help you understand what was going on.
I would not have thought that until you said that. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, that is it. Feeling was another thing to add on that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, we're so interesting as human beings because we can learn to do these things. Like everything can be both sides of the coin. Right? There's like feeling can be like, oh, this action that I'm actually putting off moving forward, or we can be in action to avoid feeling, right? And it just depends on which moment and the process that we're going through.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's hard to differentiate that in the moment, obviously, and it took some time for me to figure that out.
Yeah, it did. And I think that's normal. And I think the benefit of doing all the work that you've already done is you've laid this foundation for your future self. So first and foremost, we can always come back to this is getting you there.
Right.
Right? No matter what's going, whether it involves leaving the wellness center, which doesn't feel good. And it feels, and when I look back, I can see what you were trying to do. Like when I came, you were trying to get everybody to come with you.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, let me show you how good, let me try everything and I'll pay for this, because which I appreciate and I love, you offered to pay, for me to do your mastermind and to do this. And it was really willing to, it was like, please, some of you come with me. Right? See it and come with me so I don't have to go off my own, which is so normal. And I've been there in my life where it's like, come on, come with me, come as fast as me. Right. And I realized man, sometimes we just have to go it. We just have to go it more on our own, or we don't get those close friends. It's not the everyday friends. We have to find those other pockets. Right.
Right. That's exactly what it is. And it's funny that you say that because we, as human beings, our trait is to become a tribe or to be with a tribe. That's just our innate, feelings and the need to be a part of that. That's just how it is. So if it took a little bit for me to figure that out, even now you saying that, it was me trying to get these guys to come along with me with the mastermind and with the center.
Yeah. It's like, you guys come up here, right?
How dare you not follow me?
Right? This is which is so true. This is amazing. And it is where you're going is amazing. Where you'll be a year from now, people are going to wish they would have followed, right? Because a year from now, you're going to have this amazing online business because you're really shifting your business from being in person, and you made the final step in that, which is awesome. And again, our future self work start breaking things down until we get it. I've been there, other clients that have get there. Like it kind of is the sucky part of the process.
Yeah.
But it's like, once we put this ball in motion of your future self, like you couldn't not be her anymore. Like once you started wearing the jean jacket, and then you did another workshop where we're like, this is which actually this started a year ago, right?
Yeah.
And we've really been moving. And then your future self just sort of starts like breaking things down. So you have to rebuild them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's fun to rebuild. It's just in the moment that you don't remember that.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah.
You don't.
What does it feel like when you're in the moment?
It feels like you're in molasses, and it just feels like this time around, I think I felt it more than ever, because it's big. It's bigger than the past growth that I've done. And it felt like I felt alone, believe it or not. And I know I wasn't, but I felt it. I felt like I was alone, and I felt like nobody was hearing me. Mm-hmm. But everybody was. It was just, I wasn't hearing myself.
Yeah. Well, and I also think you were turned a little bit. We've had this conversation. You were so much in the feeling alone that you sort of tuned out the place that was supporting you the most.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
And you weren't hearing them, or you weren't showing up. It was like, oh, no one's hearing me. I'm just going to stop talking. Instead of really tuning into that place that you would be heard and supported and all of that.
Absolutely. Because I would show up, but I just wouldn't say anything.
Yes.
And my future self wouldn't show up. My current self showed up.
Yes.
And it wouldn't say anything. let's make that right.
Right. Let's make that, because that is a big deal. And we had a little coaching about that. I'm like, I think that's how your current self is showing up, right? But it's
absolutely,
we're not quite allowing your future self in yet, right?
Correct. And I feel that these past few days it's gotten better. And I remember the exercise you had me do about writing my future self and what I wanted her to know. And it felt fake when I first did it. And that's why I kind of commented, said, well, I did it, and I'm going to script first and then do it again. I haven't felt inspired to do it yet. So it'll be interesting to see when that pops up again. It's still there on my to-do list, but I don't want to act on it until it feels inspired, because the last time I did it, it didn't feel like it was genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any glimpses? What do you think you might be going to say to her?
You know, that I definitely want her to be patient. Mm-hmm. She is. She's very patient. And thank her for that. I definitely, that's probably the only part of the letter that felt genuine.
Yeah.
She's been very patient. Because I just, like I said, was stuffing her. I mean, if that was like,
yeah.
So I think that, saying to her, that I just need, I think, a little bit more, just a little bit more time to really set myself straight and get clear. I think it's just getting clear is what I need. And I just need to let her know that that's what it is. Because I had so much going on. I had you telling me raise my prices, and I had everybody in the wellness center telling me to lower my prices. And then I had, people at home telling me they couldn't support me anymore. And so it was like, I had all of these things coming at me, and I was like, well, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do? I just felt frozen. So I think that's why I said I felt like molasses and didn't feel like I was being heard. And I don't think it was that I wasn't being heard. I just think I wasn't hearing my future self.
Yeah. Well, and that's one thing I want to say, because you said it before, and I really want to make it clear. I don't care what your prices are.
Yeah.
Your future self, you said it was 1,000, right? Like I'm just representing what she said and where you're going and who she is and what came out of your space when you were in the bubble of where you needed to grow to, right? It's not that I say like, do this or do that. And so I'm just going to.
Oh, yes. No, sorry. Yes.
No. Just while you're hearing, and also like for listeners, but also I think you're more open to hear than you have been in the last couple of weeks. And so remembering that, like, no, I wasn't fighting, casting in this person. I wasn't stepping into my future self. I wasn't hearing like, that's her, right? I wasn't owning that.
That's the word, owning. I wasn't owning it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I need to get clear again. That's what I meant by getting clear again and just getting back into, this is the best I've felt probably since shortly after Arizona.
Yeah.
So that lets me know that's a long time. That was June.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't feel good when everything's crumbling.
No, it doesn't. It's hard in the moment to see the silver lining. And I know there always is. And I know that we go through these things to learn and to grow. I do know that. But in the moment and in the midst of all that, you forget that.
You do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, the cloud's clear. And that is one of the reasons I'm so into the long game, right? Yeah. Is we're not trying to make it better for tomorrow. We're trying to get you that we're not trying. We are getting you to that life that we've put out there at that point in the future, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. What do you think your future self would say to you right now if she was like across from you?
I got your back.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. And when I said that this is the most, trusting more than ever is just that. It's trusting that, the growth that I've done and when she was shining through is exactly, what I want to do. And trusting more now than ever is the letter that I wrote for the Wellness Center and stepping into being out of there. Mm-hmm. Trusting that was hard to do. And so the trusting more than ever is definitely in reflection of that. And also, letting that kind of go. It was, trusting it's going to be okay.
Yeah. Which makes total sense. There's different points we've talked about this. Like your business is unique to a lot of people's. Like you came out and you built it with a lot of referrals, which was really cool. Like you were able to step into a space and you're really good at getting clients and you're really good at serving clients. Otherwise this wouldn't have happened. But there was a lot of, referrals that came in and really opening this space that we started opening a year ago to I'm being not somebody in a center. Really, all this sort of had to break down the way that it looks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think too, it's funny how it just all kind of, I say funny, I've got to stop saying that, but it's interesting that I remember the first time I did a workshop, I was like, oh, you know what? I want to have an online session. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to work before 11 o'clock. And then all my clients started finishing earlier than they were, before 11 o'clock started finishing. So it freed up my 11 o'clock slot and all my, so I had a chance to work out and I finally found a good balance to do the working out and to do all my self-love stuff and then be present for my clients. And then I remember, it's just funny how it just, every time something. So now it's like, oh, I want to be online. Well, guess what? All my clients are coming to an end at the center. I think I only have, there's a few of them that have like 5 sessions left. So within the next couple months, I wouldn't have anybody anyway.
Yes.
To see at the center. All of them are online right now. I have 4 of them online that just recently signed up with me when we started it about a month or 2 ago. So those are the ones I'll be carrying through.
Yes.
So it's just how it's funny how not funny. It's just interesting how it is playing out with my schedule that way. Everything that I said I wanted to do, it's working out that way.
Yes. And what the funny part I think is that it always works, but it's often like we're like, oh, but that doesn't feel good, right? Like, oh,
but that's not how I envisioned.
Exactly. Or like, but like, oh, I didn't really mean I wanted all my clients online. Right. I still wanted to go to the center. Like I just really wanted them all in, right? But like in our minds, we're like, yeah, this is what I want. But like our current self is like, oh yeah, I do want that. But like, I also want this, and kind of straddles the line sometimes at certain moments in the journey.
Well, think about it. I remember when we had our business coaching session and I said, oh, I want to, I want to start this online, doing bit by piece, piece by piece, what we talked about. And then I said, oh, and then I can offer this. Oh, and then I can offer this as an additional. And you were like, wait. That was inspiration as far as getting it online. But you said everything else is exactly what you're doing in person.
Right?
Because it worked.
Yes, because it worked. Yes. And I don't remember if we talked about this on the call or it hit me later and it just didn't come back up again. But it was actually doing all those things was going to reduce the amount of money that you made.
Yes.
Like it was, because I can't remember, it was like, you're like, and then this will be this. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's less than you're charging in person, and it was just interesting later. I'm like, yeah, no. Right. But it is, we go back to what works. And if we don't have someone stop us, you would have built that whole thing and you'd be in this same sort of spot anyway. Right. You'd put a lot of energy and a lot of work into something that wasn't right because it didn't,
Correct.
Yeah. Come from the right spot.
It's so funny when you said that to me. I was like, oh yeah, she's right. Of course she's right.
Oh.
So silly. Right. I love how that just kind of you get this moment of inspiration, and then like all this other stuff starts trickling in that you've done in the past, old ways because you knew it worked.
And you're like, yeah, and I can do this and I can do this. Yeah. And at least for you, it had worked. A lot of people get those like things that all come in and it's not worked before. It's just another way they think to like, oh, I can just, and then I can make more money and I can, instead of like staying with what they want. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell me, how do you think, because now you're being your future self, your last client at the center is Tuesday, everything else is on Zoom, in your amazing house where you can just walk out and look at the mountain and go for an amazing walk. Like, how do you see like the business progressing now that you're being her all the time, not just when you put the jean jacket on?
It's going to be easy. And it hasn't been easy for some time. So this is going to be such a refresher. And it's, I think the best word, if I were to put in just one, is ease. And that's what I want, is ease.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel peaceful.
Yes, which is so awesome. And the reason I want to make this clear for listeners, I think you know this, it's going to be easy and peaceful is because you're not fighting against it anymore.
Exactly.
Right? You're here. Like it took her some like, all right, you're not going to walk across the bridge. I'm going to break it. Right? Or like,
yes.
Swim across.
I'm going to push you in.
Yes. Got to get downriver. You don't want to take the boat? Okay. You don't want to do this? Like, just get pushed in. You're right. Yeah. But yeah, ease and peace are definitely on the way because you're not pushing against it anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the money, I'm excited to see the money that flows in the next week and months, because what I know is that you freed up that space, right? You were trying to bring in money, but also resisting that. Right? Absolutely. Like you're trying to bring in money in the center, but that's not your future self. And so again, it was still straddling, it was pushing against. Absolutely. And now it's wide open.
And wide open. Absolutely.
Yay.
Can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's amazing.
It is amazing. It feels good.
Yeah. All right. So what are you going to be, the next time we talk, what are you going to be telling us you're excited about?
About how many people I have online in my group session.
Yay.
Yeah. We're going to hit that number. I'm going to do 60. That's what it's going to be. Mm-hmm.
I love it. Cool.
Awesome.
What advice, if knowing what you know now, would you have given yourself as you walked out the door in Arizona?
Oh, that's a good one.
Or maybe it's more like, what would you say?
Yeah, I would say just be more accepting and of who I'm going to become and who I'm becoming, and not worry about everybody else around me.
Yay. That's amazing advice.
Yeah.
Well, tell everybody how they can connect with you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I'm on all social media platforms, so Instagram and Facebook under K8 for Wellness. That's the letter K, the number 8, the number 4 Wellness. And then my website is same thing, www.k8forwellness.com. And then my podcast is the same as well, K8 for Wellness Podcast.
Awesome. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing this moment in your journey with us. I am super excited for the next one. And I'm so excited for you because it is all ease and peace in a whole new way going forward.
I can't wait to share it with you guys.
Yay.
Thank you, Cassie.
Thank you. And make sure to come back and tune in to Kate's next interview.
Thank you for joining us on the Law of Attraction Manifesting Success Stories show. To learn how to attract more money into your life, go to your favorite book retailer and order Cassie's book, Manifest $10,000.